Good morning, distinguished guests, speakers, and participants. On behalf of the organizing committee, welcome to the ASTECHNOVA 2025, hosted by the Department of Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics Universitas Gadjah Mada. Before we officially begin today's conference, we would like to enjoy a coffee break, which is now available just outside in the main hall. We also kindly remind all participants to complete the registration process at the registration desk. And if you haven't already done so, please take this time to refresh, connect with fellow participants, and visit our exhibition area. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention please? Our event ASTECHNOVA 2025 will be started in a few minutes, so please everybody, all participants still outside, we kindly invite all of you to enter the hall and please be seated. Thank you so very much for your attention and your cooperation.
Kita di sini kalian ya, biar kita mudah koordinasinya. Pindah aja.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we have your attention please? We inform you that our program ASTECHNOVA 2025 will be started soon. So please everybody, all participants who still outside, we kindly invite all of you to enter the room and please be seated. Thank you so very much for your attention and cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we inform you that our ASTECHNOVA 2025 will be started in a few minutes. So please, all participants, kindly enter the room and please be seated. And we inform you that you may bring and enjoy your coffee and snacks inside the hall.
Mas Wain Pro tak suruh masuk aja biar penuh ya. Sama eksibitor termasuk ya. Daripada aku dapat ternyata penariknya belum. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to Alana Hotel, Yogyakarta. Before we officially begin today's conference, we invite you to enjoy a special cultural presentation as our pre-opening performance. This traditional Japanese dance is titled Beksan Topeng Putri Kumudaningrat, a classical mask dance beautifully choreographed by Angela Ratno Nuryastuti.
The performance tells the story of Princess Kumudaningrat of the Ngurawan Kingdom, who awaits her beloved Prince Panji Sinom Pradopo with deep longing and quiet strength.
As he prepares for his arrival, the princess gracefully adorns herself, a reflection of inner beauty, poise, and reserve of a Japanese woman. The dance is accompanied by the traditional gamelan composition, Ladrang Sri Duhito, Laras Pelok Patet Barang, composed by the late KPH Noto Projo.
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the performance of
Beksan Topeng Putri Kumudaningrat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are so incredibly honored to welcome you here at Alana Hotel Yogyakarta and welcome to the ASTECHNOVA 2025 International Energy Conference. Thank you so very much for your appreciation, ladies and gentlemen. This year's conference carries the theme Beyond Net Zero Pathways to Climate Positive Energy Systems.
ASTECHNOVA, the International Energy Conference, has served as an international discussion forum since 2014 to 2023. Organized annually by the Department of Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics Universitas Gadjah Mada, this conference provides a crucial platform for communication and dissemination of renewable energy technology advancement. And since 2014, ASTECHNOVA conference has successfully attracted participants and experts from 33 countries.
And we are honored to host this event in collaboration with the Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South Technical Cooperation, or NAM-CSSTC, the Center for Science and Technology of the Non-Aligned and Other Developing Countries, or NAM-SNT Center, PT Torkon Power Indonesia, and the International Atomic Energy Agency, or IAEA.
Ladies and gentlemen, additionally, this conference is held in conjunction with the IAEA INPRO Technical Meeting Step Forward, a collaboration between the International Atomic Energy Agency, Indonesia's National Research and Innovation Agency, and the Department of Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics Universitas Gadjah Mada.
Ladies and gentlemen, our day we would like to extend our warmest welcome to Honorable UN Secretary General Special Envoy on Water, Her Excellency Mrs. Retno LP Marsudi, who is joining with us online.
The Dean Faculty of Engineering Universitas Gadjah Mada, Professor Selo.
Mrs. Elvira F. Tanjung PhD, Junior Manager Engineering and Nuclear Fuel Development PT Torkon Power Indonesia.
Director of NAM-CSSTC, Ambassador Diar Nurbintoro.
Honorable Ms. Caroline Serrer, Section Head of the INPRO, International Atomic Agency.
Mr. Pavel Petichin, Scientific Secretary of the INPRO, International Atomic Energy Agency.
Head of Department Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics, Dr. Alexander Agung.
And to all honorable delegates, speakers, moderators, distinguished guests, and colleagues, welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment to honor our nation and sing the Indonesia National Anthem together. Please stand to sing Indonesia Raya. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, ASTECHNOVA 2025, organized annually by the Department of Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics at Universitas Gadjah Mada. And we would like also to take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to our sponsors whose support has made this event possible. Thank you to PT Pamtek, PT Metateknika Kreasi Jaya, PT Wisu Varia Analitika.
Chat Grip, NRB Foundation, PT Ekorat, PT Kofwatch Karya Nusantara, Warung Sains Teknologi, PT Harjo Andrawina Nusantara, dan PT Adil Makmur Sentosa.
Thank you for your generous contribution and continued support toward advancing clean and innovative energy solutions. Please give a big applause to all sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we have the honor to invite the conference chair to deliver the welcome speech.
Please join us in welcoming the conference chair, Mr. Arif Effendi, PhD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellencies, Dean Faculty of Engineering Universitas Gadjah Mada, Prof. Selo, Head of Department Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics, Dr. Alexander Agung, Director of the Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South Technical Cooperation, or NAM-CSSTC, His Excellency Ambassador Diyar Nur Bintoro, Representative of Torkon Power Indonesia, Dr. Elvira Tanjung, distinguished guests from the International Atomic Energy Agency or IAEA, our esteemed invited speakers, participants and colleagues, my name is Muhammad Arif Effendi. It is my great honor and pleasure on behalf of the organizing committee to welcome you all to ASTECHNOVA 2025. Held here in the beautiful city of Yogyakarta, Indonesia. The theme of Beyond Net Zero, Pathways to Climate Positive Energy System, reflects our shared commitment to go further than reducing emissions to actively creating a future where energy systems are not only sustainable, but also restorative for our planet. This year's event continues the legacy of the ASTECHNOVA conference series, which since 2014 has grown into a respected international forum for energy research, technology, and policy. Over the course of 7 successful conferences from 2014 to 2023, ASTECHNOVA has welcomed participants and experts from 33 countries, building a truly global network of collaboration. Today, with ASTECHNOVA 2025, we proudly celebrate the 8th International Energy Conference. We are proud to host this conference in parallel with the IAEA technical meeting of the International Project on Innovative Nuclear Reactor and Fuel Cycles, or INPRO. This joint effort highlights the importance of international partnerships across nations and institutions in achieving sustainable and secure energy futures. This year, ASTECHNOVA has received 73 abstracts, with more than 300 authors and co-authors from 7 countries. Such a diverse and international gathering highlights the growing urgency and the shared responsibility of transforming our energy landscape. Our discussion will span across critical subtopics: water, food, and energy nexus, low emission development, nuclear technologies, new and renewable energies, energy conservation and efficiency, energy security, AI, IoT, sensors, and instrumentation for energy. Through these parallel sessions, oral and poster presentations, and stimulating exchange, I believe we will gain new insight and foster collaborations that extend well beyond this conference. We are also delighted to provide an exhibition area in front of the ballroom where partner and innovator showcase solutions and technologies that complement the themes of our sessions. I encourage all of you to visit, engage, and explore these contributions. Distinguished guests, the challenge we face, climate change, resource limitation, and energy demand are complex. But the presence of so many brilliant minds give us confidence that we can craft pathways that are not only scientifically sound, but also globally inclusive. On these occasions, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the NAM-CHES STC for the continued support and collaboration, which have greatly strengthened ASTECHNOVA and its role as a platform for international cooperation. Our sincere gratitude also goes to the NAM Science and Technology Center, whose valued collaboration has enriched this conference through the support of distinguished speakers and the conference publication. I would like to take this moment to express my sincere gratitude to our partner, sponsor, invited speakers, and of course, to each of you for your invaluable participation. Your commitment is what makes ASTECHNOVA not just a conference, but a platform for change. With that, I wish you a fruitful discussions, inspiring exchange, and memorable experiences during your time in ASTECHNOVA 2025. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so very much, Mr. M. Arif Effendi, PhD, for your warm welcoming speech. Thank you so very much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are honored to welcome a distinguished guest representing the Non-Aligned Movement Center for Socio-Technical Cooperation. And please join us in welcoming the Director of NAM-CSSTC, who will deliver the welcome speech on behalf of the organization.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Ambassador Diyar Nurbintoro.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable UN Secretary General Special Envoy on Water, Ambassador Retno Marsudi, Honorable Dean of Faculty of Engineering, Professor Ser, Honorable Conference Chair Arif Effendi, Honorable Chief Operation Officer for PT Torkon Power Indonesia, Dita Karunia Asari, distinguished esteemed panelists and speaker, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is truly a great pleasure and an honor to be here with all of you at the 8th International Energy Conference ASTECHNOVA 2025. On behalf of the Non-Aligned Movement Center for Socio-Technical Cooperation, or NAM-CSSTC, I would like to extend my warmest greetings to everyone here today. NAM-CSSTC has had the privilege of being part of ASTECHNOVA for several years. We all know that energy remains a major concern in our effort to pursue sustainable development. The impact of climate change is urging us to acknowledge our shared duty and responsibility to rethink and reduce our energy usage. The Paris Agreement united the world under a common goal to limit the rise in global temperature and achieve net zero emission for the sake of future generations. Yet at the 2023 COP28 revealed we are far from being on track to meet that target. We must face this challenge together, accelerating our effort and embracing the transition away from fossil fuel more urgently than ever. ASTECHNOVA 2025 provides us with a platform to take this conversation even further ahead. Under the theme Beyond Net Zero, Pathways to Climate Positive Energy Systems, we're encouraged to think beyond emission reduction. It pushes us to explore how energy system can actually benefit the climate. It is indeed an exciting and ambitious vision, and it's a conversation we need to have if we are truly going to face climate change and build a more resilient future. At NAM-CSSTC, we firmly believe in the power of collaboration. I have seen how collaboration can turn good ideas into real change. Therefore, I also believe that what ASTECHNOVA represents, I believe ASTECHNOVA is a conference that gathers the brightest minds in their respective field, who are united by the same vision and determination to make a change for a better future. So as we begin, I encourage everyone to take this time to connect, to exchange ideas, and to think about how the insight we gain here can make differences. Allow me to conclude my remarks by expressing my deepest gratitude and appreciation to our invited speakers, all the contributors, participants, and partners. Thank you, and may the discussion ahead lead us closer to a sustainable world. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ambassador Diyar Nurbintoro, for your encouraging remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now pleased to present the welcome speech from one of our key partners in this conference. Representing PT Torkon Power Indonesia, a valued contributor in the advancement of nuclear energy and innovation in Indonesia. Delivering the welcome on behalf of the Chief Operating Officer of PT Torkon Power Indonesia.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Junior Manager of Engineering and Nuclear Fuel Development, Mrs. Elvira F. Tanjung, PhD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Elvira Fidelia Tanjung, a representative of PT Torkon Power Indonesia and also Torkon International. Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, innovators, and friends of sustainability. Today, the world stands at a crossroads, and for decades, we have spoken about the race to net zero, the defining challenge of our generations. And as the clock ticks and the planet warms, it becomes clear that words and promises are no longer enough. So we must act, we must build, and we must do it together. Torkon not came to promise but to prove, not to wait but to build it. And why nuclear? Because nuclear power is not the enemy of renewables. It is the only 24/7, carbon-free, high-temperature base load energy source that is capable of sustaining our industries, hospitals, and digital economy. And for Indonesia, an archipelago of more than 17,000 islands, nuclear energy is not just an alternative. It is the foundation of our national energy resilience. And energy resilience means the ability to stand firm in any global challenge, to secure supply for every region, and also to ensure the Indonesia's progress is powered by strength, not dependency. Torkon believes that achieving net zero must go beyond technology. It must root it in collaboration. That's why Torkon applies the pentahelix model, uniting academia, industry, government, civil society, and media to accelerate Indonesia's clean energy transitions. Through this collaboration, we are not only building a reactor, we are building trust, innovations, and natural capacity. Torcon came not with empty hands, but with engineering, science, and partnerships. And we came not to compete, but to complete Indonesia's clean energy visions. So today, let us unite in purpose, let us believe that net zero is achievable, that climate positive is possible, and that nuclear energy will be the key to Indonesia's energy resilience and sovereignty. Because the real strength of a nation is not measured by the energy consumed, but by the courage of transforms. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we are ready, you are ready, and of course, Indonesia is completely ready. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mrs. Elvira F. Tanjung, for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, now we would like to invite to the stage the Dean of Faculty of Engineering of Universitas Gadjah Mada to deliver remarks. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Professor Selo.
Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, invited speakers, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Universitas Gadjah Mada, particularly the Faculty of Engineering, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the ASTECHNOVA 2025. We are honored to host this international conference held under the theme Beyond Net Zero, Pathways to Climate Positive Energy Systems. This theme resonates strongly with our missions as a university to advance knowledge, technology, and innovations for the benefits of humanity. It challenges us not only to reduce carbon emissions, but also to envision energy systems that actively create a positive impacts on our climate and society. We are delighted to this ASTECHNOVA 2025 is convened in parallel with the IAEA's technical meeting of international project on innovative nuclear reactor and fuel cycles, or INPRO. This alignment demonstrates the importance of global collaborations in addressing shared energy and environmental challenges. I wish to commend the organizing committee for their dedications in bringing together more than 300 authors and co-authors from 8 countries, contributing to 73 abstracts to this year's conference. We believe that universities have a critical role to play, not only in research and education, but also in providing platforms where science, policy, and society meet. Through ASTECHNOVA, we hope to strengthen collaborations among academia, industry, governments, and international partners in pursuit of sustainable development. Allow me to extend my sincere appreciations to our esteemed guests, sponsors, and collaborators, and to warmly welcome all participants to Yogyakarta, Indonesia. May this conference inspire us new ideas, foster meaningful partnerships, and bring us closer to realizing climate-positive energy systems. I wish you a productive and rewarding conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Selo. Please stay on stage for the opening session of the ASTECHNOVA 2025. Professor Selo, please back to the stage to the opening session of ASTECHNOVA 2025, and to accompany the Dean of Faculty of Engineering of Universitas Gadjah Mada, we invite Ambassador DR, Dr. Elvira, Miss Caroline, Dr. Alex, and Dr. Arif Effendi to come forward, please. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the highlight of this morning's agenda, the official opening of the ASTECHNOVA 2025, the 8th International Energy Conference. And to mark the official commencement of this prestigious event, we would like to ask the Dean, Faculty of Engineering, to strike the gong together, accompanied by all distinguished guests on the stage. Okay, and we invite everybody here, please help us to count down, start from 5, okay? Okay, together, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, International Energy Conference, the 8th ASTECHNOVA 2025 is officially open. Thank you so very much for all these guests on the stage. Please stay to have some picture with the photographer. Thank you. Please give a big round of applause. Please stay as we will have the token of appreciation session. And we would like ask again for the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering of Universitas Gadjah Mada, Professor Selo, to present token of appreciation to our sponsors. So we kindly ask for Professor Selo to present first to His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Nur Bintoro, the Director of the Non-Aligned Movement Center for Social Technical Cooperation, or NAM-CSSTC.
And next to Dr. Elvira Tanjung, the Junior Manager of Engineering and Nuclear Fuel Development, PT Torkon Power Indonesia.
Thank you. And next, please move to the floor as we will have the photo session with all participants of ASTECHNOVA 2025. And all distinguished guests, all participants, we kindly invite all of you to please stand and have some picture with all of distinguished guests on here. We invite all of you, ladies and gentlemen, all participants, please stand for a while. We will memorize this moment by taking pictures together with all of distinguished guests. So we invite all of you who still sit here, please move to the center, and all of you at the right side, please move to the center. All of you in the right or left side, we invite all of you to move to the center together. Okay? Well, Mas fotografer sudah tercover semuanya dalam satu kamera? Aman? Ada yang belum? Okay, all participants who still stand in the left side, please move to the center. Maybe 3 or 4 left to the right side. Okay, Okay. Okay, let's get picture together. 3, 2, 1, smile. Cheese. Okay, and clenching your right hand like this. Give your spirit to the ASTECHNOVA of 2025. 3, 2, 1, smile. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, and please give a big round of applause to ASTECHNOVA 2025. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, all participants. We kindly invite all of you to back to your seats, and we will continue to our next program.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed to a very important part of today's agenda, the keynote speech by Mrs. Retno Alpe Marsudi, the United Nations Secretary General Special Envoy on Water. Although she is unable to join us in person, we are honored to present a pre-recorded keynote address from one of Indonesia's most respected diplomats.
Her Excellency Retno Alpe Marsudi, the United Nations Secretary General Special Envoy on Water, has kindly shared her insight through this special video message. With her extensive experience in foreign affairs and global cooperation, she will bring a valuable perspective on today's topic, energy geopolitics in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen for the keynote speech by Her Excellency Retno Alpe Marsudi.
A very good morning to everyone. Greetings from Geneva. Let me begin by thanking the organizing committee of ASTECHNOVA 2025 for inviting me. I'm sorry that I cannot be with you in Jogja today, but I'm truly honored to share my thought from Geneva. This year's theme, Beyond Net Zero, Pathways to Climate Positive Energy System, is both timely and critical. When we talk about climate action, we often think of carbon. But behind every ton of carbon are three invisible forces: water, food, and energy. Together, they form the foundation of human survival. Without them, there is no growth, no development, no future. The Paris Agreement has set an ambitious but necessary target to achieve net zero CO2 emission by 2050 and to cut global emission by 45% by 2030. But this target does not stand alone. It is deeply connected with the Sustainable Development Goals, and it is here that water, food, and energy nexus become central. If you think about it, water feeds our crops, but it also cools our power plants. Energy pumps our irrigation and powers our food system. And food choices from water-intensive rice to energy-hungry livestock shape the demand for both. This is not theory, it is reality. In many parts of the world, farmers are forced to choose between irrigating their fields or leaving water for household. In Indonesia, we see rivers that must serve rice paddies, hydropower, and growing cities all at once. These are the real trade-offs that define our future. So, what challenges emerge from this nexus? Allow me to share three of them. First, resource scarcity. Fresh water is limited, yet competition for it keeps rising between agriculture, industry, and household. Here, academia can play a role in optimizing resource use, turning conflict into cooperation. Second, trade-off and synergies. A policy in one sector often disrupts the others. Promoting biofuel, for example, may reduce emission, but can also threaten food security. To prevent this, we need coherence, aligning agriculture, energy, and water policies. Third, inequality. Colleagues, vulnerable population, especially in developing countries, are hit hardest. For them, water, food, and energy shortages are not abstract debates. They are lived realities. Academia must shine a light on these inequalities and propose affordable solutions. Green infrastructure, renewable energy, and climate-smart agriculture that also reduce long-term risks. Colleagues and friends, the water, food, energy nexus is not just a technical issue. It is a governance priority. Recognizing and managing this interdependency requires multi-sectoral, multi-level, and multi-stakeholders collaboration. So let us ask ourselves, how can we feed the world without exhausting our river? How can we power our economies without undermining food security? How can we ensure that solutions for some do not create new burdens for others? The answer the answer relies in moving beyond silos, beyond competition, toward integration, synergy, and equity. We all need water, food, and energy to build a resilient and just future. I wish you a fruitful conference, and I hope your discussion today will bring us closer to that vision. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Her Excellency Retno LP Marsudi, for the video pre-recorded message.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we move to the next agenda, let us take a moment to watch a speech delivered by Mr. Mikhail Chudakov, Deputy Director General and Head of the Department of Nuclear Energy, International Atomic Energy Agency.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to the screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished colleagues, good morning. My name is Mikhail Chudakov, and I'm the IA Deputy Director General and Head of the Department of Nuclear Energy. I'm pleased to address you today as you gather for the 8th International Energy Conference ASTECHNOVA 2025, organized in cooperation with the IAEA. I would like to thank the Department of Nuclear Engineering Physics at the Universitas Gadjah Mada for making this event happen and inviting me to give this keynote speech. I regret not being able to attend in person. Conferences like this one, are great opportunities to engage, to learn, and to chart the path forward. The primary objectives of this conference are to foster communication and the dissemination of emerging energy technologies, including nuclear, exchange ideas and experiences in energy engineering, support the development of energy security, and bolster South-South technical cooperation for sustainable energy development and international partnerships. The conference aims to provide a platform for researchers, academics, and practitioners to discuss innovations, sustainable energy solutions, and the integration of technology with the environmental and economic aspects. These objectives support energy security. As countries around the world strive for energy security and aim to meet environmental and economic goals, they are looking for sustainable energy solutions. All clean energy technologies have a role to play. And in recent years, an international consensus has emerged on the importance of quickly scaling up global nuclear power capacity. To be clear, nuclear power is already a major component of the global energy mix and has been for a long time. Right now, about 9% of the world's electricity is produced by nuclear power. Last month, during the 69th IAEA General Conference, the IAEA released its latest projections for nuclear power expansion to support the world in meeting their energy planning goals. These projections show global nuclear power capacity more than doubling by mid-century, reaching 2.6 times the 2024 level in the high-case scenario, potentially growing to a total of 992 gigawatts electric by then. Ladies and gentlemen, getting there will not be easy. It's not just about standing up new nuclear power reactors. It is about strategic and sustainable energy planning, which involves financing, human resource development, minimizing impacts on the environment, and so much more. This requires a holistic approach and strategic planning for countries to meet their energy needs through the 21st century and beyond. Here at the IAEA, we offer a wide range of support to countries from strategic and sustainable energy planning, nuclear energy system assessment, using the INPRA methodology, and assisting with the development of plans that could incorporate nuclear together with renewable energy sources. Indonesia, along with several other countries in the region and many more around the world, are actively considering the introduction of nuclear power. Though Indonesia has not yet made a final decision on deploying nuclear, they have been active in their preparations. Recently, the IAEA conducted a pilot advisory service upon request from Indonesia's Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources to support the development of a 35th year energy plan using roadmaps and INPRO tool, which supports strategic energy planning. Indonesia posted this roadmap earlier this year. Dear colleagues, nuclear technologies are not just for electricity generation. They can also be used for a wide range of non-electric applications, from district heating to desalination. Maximizing the use of nuclear technologies is key for long-term sustainability and secure energy. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that 83 abstracts were submitted to this conference, which has brought together more than 100 participants from 9 countries. And I'm pleased to learn that among the participants are members of the young generation, including students from the Università Gadjah Mada. Throughout the discussions over the next 2 days, I encourage all of you to keep an open mind and be receptive to fresh perspectives. We grow by learning, and it's crucial to embrace new ways of thinking to make the most of our potential. I wish you fruitful discussions on sustainable and secure energy planning and a successful conference. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Mikhail Judakov. So, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you have had a meaningful start to the day. And as you know, ASTECHNOVA 2025 spans 2 full days of insightful sessions, knowledge sharing and collaboration. And we have already witnessed the opening session by the Dean of Faculty of Engineering of Universitas Gadjah Mada, and continued, we have honor to hear from our keynote speaker, our esteemed keynote speaker, Her Excellency Retno LP Marsudi, and who, of course, Her Excellency, who set the tone for what we believe will be truly impactful for this conference. And today, we will dive deeper into the core of the themes, bringing themes beyond net zero pathways to climate positive energy systems. And we will have parallel session after the conference session or the panel session. And tomorrow on day 2, we will have panel session and oral presentation, and continued then by session celebrating the achievement. And we also invite all of you to explore the poster exhibition around this hall and also at the foyer or outside this hall. So while you having break for coffee break or maybe for lunch break, you may please enjoy the poster exhibition and that located inside the hall and outside the hall. So ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to the next session.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to our first panel sessions of today's program. These sessions will explore a topic that lies at the heart of today's energy transition efforts, the role of nuclear energy in a net zero energy system.
And we are pleased to introduce the moderator for this session, Mr. Andika Yuda Prawira, STMS, a lecturer at the Department of Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics of Universitas Gadjah Mada. Mr. Andika has also served as a researcher and teaching assistant at the Nuclear Energy, Environment and Nuclear Security Laboratory at the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology.
His areas of expertise include nuclear safety, security and safeguards, small modular reactors, nuclear energy system modeling, and nuclear policy.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we now hand over the session to our moderator. Please welcome Mr. Andika Yuda Prawira.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to all the distinguished guests, invited speakers, and all of the colleagues and participants. Welcome to Special Region of Yogyakarta, and we would like to start this ASTECHNOVA conference with a very special topics on nuclear energy. So today we will start this panel session. The title of this panel session is the role of nuclear energy in a net zero future energy system. And as we all know, achieving net zero is not only a technical and economic challenges, but also a societal and generational responsibility. As mentioned by our previous keynote speech about the projection of nuclear power, we will have the doubling of nuclear capacity by 2050 in a high projection scenarios. In that regard, we will need to make sure that Indonesia is not left behind. And in that, the path forward requires us to balance three core dimensions of energy: sustainability, affordability, and energy security. Joining us today, we will have three distinguished panelists from policy, industry, and academia. And I would like to invite Ms. Caroline Shearer, Dr. Elvira Tanjung, and Professor Andang Widiharto to come forward for this panel session. And please give big round of applause to our panelists. All right, this session is designed to unpack these three following questions, like how nuclear power can accelerate deep decarbonization, and what is the potential of both small modular reactors and advanced nuclear reactors, concept and flexible future grids, and the policy, regulatory, and financing frameworks that will be needed to be able to be an enabler for nuclear energy to be able to contribute safely, equitably to reach our climate targets. And I would like to introduce our first speaker today. So we will have Ms. Caroline Shearer. She is the section head of the International Project on Innovative Nuclear Reactors and Fuel Cycles, known as INPRO, of the International Atomic Energy Agency, or the IAEA. She obtained a graduate degree in ceramic science in 1985 from the Penn State University, and she has more than 30 years of experience working in nuclear security, safeguards, and proliferation resistance at Los Alamos National Lab at the United States. She currently leads the INPRO section. In this role, she leads effort to ensure the sustainability of nuclear energy system through strategic planning, sustainability assessment, and international cooperation, topic that's very near and dear to Indonesia as aspiring nuclear newcomer country. So I would like to give the floor to Ms. Caroline Scherer. So the floor is yours.
Mungkin dikasih podium lagi nggak, Mas? Dikasih podium lagi nggak? Jadi bisa lihat. Soalnya nggak ada monitor.
So now I can't see anything.
Iya.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, colleagues. I'm here today to talk to you about what we do in IMPRO and the prospects for nuclear energy. Okay, I'll just stand up here. Anyway, can we have the next slide, please? So I'm going to make this quick because I think I kind of didn't quite understand the objective. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what IMPRO is, give you an overview, talk about some of the work we do in proliferation resistance, and the next slide, please. So IMPRO is a key program of the International Atomic Energy Agency. I'm the section head for IMPRO. I implement the program for the DDG, Mikhail Judakov. He just spoke to you this morning. The project works across departments, so he is the program manager for IMPRO. Next one, please. IMPRO began in 2000 as a general conference resolution, and we launched in May 2001. We're run by steering committee, so Indonesia is part of our steering committee. They direct what kind of research we do and what we look into. Next slide, please. So as I said, we're run by steering committee. We have a strategic plan, and we also have a sub-program plan that is endorsed by our steering committee. We meet annually, and in fact, I have a huge meeting starting on Monday next week. So we are meeting to discuss our sub-program plan for 2026-2027. Next one. So the objectives of IMPRO are to ensure that nuclear energy is available in a sustainable manner through the next century and beyond. And we bring together technology holders, technology users, regulators to address the what needs to be done to make nuclear energy a sustainable choice in the future. And we want this nuclear energy to be economically competitive, to be inherently safe, to minimize the risk of proliferation, and to have minimal environmental impacts. And we created a process to bring together all these stakeholders to look into what needs to be done to deploy nuclear energy in the future. Next slide, please. So this concept of sustainable development actually came from a UN report. You heard from your UN ambassador this morning, and they said that there are 4 key components. She talked about food, water, and energy. I think it's kind of aligned. We need to think about sustainable energy development in the concept of that it needs to be economical, it needs to be environmentally friendly, it needs to address societal needs, and it needs to have political and institutional qualities to it to address the safety aspects. So we look in IMPRO at developing sustainable energy goals, and especially when they consider nuclear. So if your country has an energy plan and it has nuclear, IMPRO can help you with your nuclear energy planning to make sure it's sustainable and strategic. So we look at a holistic approach. We address all the areas that are of concern to the public. We look at the life cycle. We start at the beginning of design through construction, operation, decommissioning, what are you going to do with the waste? And then we also look at helping to make decisions so that member countries can deploy sustainable nuclear energy. So the IMPRO methodology was developed to address the sustainability of nuclear energy systems, and this also helps with public acceptance of nuclear energy. So we began with the UN concept of sustainable energy development, and we looked at what we could do to apply that to deploying nuclear energy. So we have to make sure that it's economical, that it's environmentally friendly. We have to look at the impacts, the stressors on the environment, and the depletion of resources. We look at waste management. That's a long-term commitment. And we want to make sure that it does not impact future generations. That was part of the UN report, was to make sure that we do not do things today that negatively impact future generations from meeting their goals. So we also look at safety. We look at proliferation resistance. And we look at infrastructure. And this is what is needed to make sure that you have sustainable nuclear energy. So the IMPRO methodology is hierarchical. I won't go into all these details today. These are kind of the high-level basic principles for all those key areas that I mentioned. So economics, we want it to be competitive. It doesn't necessarily need to be the cheapest. This morning we heard nuclear is available 24/7. Solar, not available 24/7. So it might be slightly higher for nuclear, but when we do our nuclear planning, we usually plan for a certain amount of time. The first nuclear plants were put in for 40 years. They're now going for 60 to 80 years, so that's much more economical. We look at environmental impacts. We look at waste management, that we protect the current and future generations. We make sure that the nuclear energy system is unattractive to a proliferator. We also look at minimizing mishaps to make them safer, and that we do not want to have evacuations if there is a mishap. And then we look at infrastructure, the regulatory and legal framework that countries have to make sure that the nuclear energy is sustainable. So in IMPRO, we took that energy modeling concept, and when it applies to nuclear, we help member states with their modeling and analysis. With the role of innovations, we look at nuclear-produced hydrogen. We look at fusion. We look at what needs to be done to deploy these future systems. We look at sustainability assessments to help member states look at sustainability of nuclear energy and identify gaps so they can close these gaps before deploying the systems. And we have what we call dialogue and outreach. We have dialogue forums where we bring together all kinds of stakeholders to address issues that need to be addressed in order to deploy future energy systems. In fact, the most recent dialogue forum that we had in May this year looked at floating nuclear power plants, and Indonesia obviously is interested in that. So are many other countries in this region. We also do outreach for workshops and education training to use our methods and tools. So these sustainability assessments are good for newcomer countries. They help identify gaps. They use a graded approach. It's a daunting task to look at deploying nuclear energy in your country. We look, states and governments can look at if they want to expand their nuclear programs, or they can identify strategies that are more sustainable. We work with national industry and designers, especially the innovative systems. In order to the gaps, we might identify research, development, and demonstration that needs to be accomplished in order to close these gaps. And we're future looking. We look at these innovative systems so we can address these before they become a reality. Actually, I was going to talk a little bit about proliferation resistance, but I think we have a mix-up in my slide deck this morning. And this was actually the presentation I gave at the university. Yesterday was on proliferation resistance, so I am not going to go into all this detail this morning. Once again, I just want to say that IMPRO is the International Project on Innovative Nuclear Reactors and Fuel Cycles. We are here to ensure that nuclear energy can contribute in a sustainable manner to the energy needs of the current century and beyond. We are here to support member states in their long-term strategic nuclear energy deployment. We provide support for developing and innovative nuclear energy systems. We do scenario modeling and analysis, technical and institutional innovations, sustainability assessments, education and outreach, and we facilitate cooperation and collaboration. So we're here to make sure we can deploy sustainable nuclear energy in the future. This is my impro section. We are happy to have Miss Christina Johari with us. She is an Indonesian. She's my Task 1 leader, and she works with Pavel Petitsin, which unfortunately couldn't be here today. And I thank you for your time. We had a mix-up in the slide deck, but it's okay.
Thank you, Caroline, for the presentation. Before we continue to the second presentation, I would like to ask one question to Caroline. So InPro methodology has been applied and in several case studies. My question is, how do you think does this help each member states, and especially in terms of nuclear newcomer countries preparing their program, how InPro methodology could help them, especially in Indonesia states right now in preparedness?
That was a very good question. I think it applies to Indonesia and a lot of the region countries here. So what InPro methodology can do looking at these nuclear energy system assessments, as you saw, we have 6 key areas that align with the UN concept of sustainable energy development. And these help with public acceptance. They also assure the public that you address the things that are going to be eminent. You deploy nuclear energy, you're going to have to think about waste management in the future. And, it helps when you engage the public, the communication, to make sure that they're on board with you. And it's a continuous process. It's not just, you go out and you meet them once. They need to feel that they're being heard. And if you can show that you addressed all these different areas of deploying nuclear energy, it helps with the conversation and the engagement. And they might have some solutions for you that you didn't even think about. Because when you go to communities, the people that know the area the best are those that live there.
All right, thank you. One big round of applause for Ms. Caroline Scherer. For the second panelist today, we will have Dr. Elvira Tanjung, a Junior Manager for Engineering and Nuclear Fuel Development at PT Torkon Indonesia. It's my honor to introduce Dr. Elvira Tanjung, a distinguished mechanical and nuclear engineer whose career spans experimental thermal hydraulics, molten salt reactor development, and nuclear materials science. Initiatives at PT Torkon Power Indonesia, including the development of Torkon MSR concept and fuel salt technology in collaboration with Institute Technology Bandung and Virginia Tech. Dr. Tanjung brings works represents Indonesia's growing capacity to contribute to the global nuclear innovation frontier, and particularly suited into the introduction of the first nuclear power plant in Indonesia. To Dr. Tanjung, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Today, on behalf of Torkon International, I would like to share regarding the unlocking the potential of molten salt reactor in the global net zero journey. So, I'm not here to convince you that nuclear works, but I'm here to show you why Indonesia cannot afford to ignore it anymore. And this talk is not about the technology, but it's more on the national resilience, the energy sovereignty, and the legacy. Next, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we know that the world is racing to net zero, but the question is, will Indonesia be a follower or will be a leader? Next, please. And the challenges in the energy transitions, so let's be honest that renewable energy is vital but not sufficient. Solar and wind are great. We all know know about this, right? But only when the sun shines and the wind blows, while steel mills and the data centers, hospitals, they don't sleep. So what can we do? We need the power that also doesn't sleep. Next, please. And why nuclear and why it should be now? Because among all the clean energy sources, nuclear is the only one with industrial grade power density. So I guess without it, net zero become the net fantasy. Next, please. And here, MSR as one of the future generation, generation 4 among the nuclear reactor, is not your grandfather's nuclear. It's walk away safe and runs on liquid fuel. So it cannot melt down because it's already melted. And as we know that MSR is not a newbie, it's not a newcomers, it's not a new players, but it's already proven in the Oak Ridge National Lab in the USA that the molten salt reactor operated is more than 15,000 hours. So, next please. Here, what is the goals and the objectives? To make the molten salt reactor viable, we need to focus on these 3 parameters, which are the salt chemistry. It's to ensure and to maintain the fuel clean and stable. And then the second one is the materials. So we need to ensure that the materials can resist in high temperature and also corrosions. And the last one is the modeling. It's include the multiphysics modeling, such as neutronics, thermohydraulics, and so on, so we can predict the behaviors under many situations and conditions. Next, please. And here, I will not bore you with the chemistry, but I do want to make one point that this is not theoretical. The key technology of molten salt reactor is purifying the salt. And we already prove with our experiments that one of the problem is the corrosion, right? But here we prove that it's just a matter how we handle the salt, how we purify the salt. Because we tried with several vessels already, like SS 314, and then coated by copper, and then we tried to purify the salt using the HF gas, which is corrosive materials, but it's proof that there is no corrosion. So next, please. The MSR in the net zero systems, unlike the conventional reactors, molten salt reactor is not just for electricity. It produces high temperature heat, which is also perfect for hydrogen, ammonia, desalination, and green industry. So it's the backbone of the climate positive energy system. And also, as we know, molten salt, we can use the molten salt itself for the fuel as well as the coolant, which can absorb high temperature. So it can also eliminate the risk of high pressure explosions, because it works at high temperature but almost near the atmospheric pressure. It's almost similar like the faucet in our home. Next, please. So the MSR is not things that we need to scare of. Next, please. And as we know that Indonesia's energy demand is rising, so we need more power, not less. And if we choose wrong today, we will be importing the energy for forever. But if we choose right, we become energy independent. Next, please. And why Torcon? Because we offer high output, which is 2 times 250 megawatts, so we have 500 megawatts. And also because our reactor is molten salt reactor, so it's liquid fuel and then work in low pressure and high working temperatures. And for the safety features, it's walk-away safety, so it's passive self-stabilizing. And then faster constructions, because we build in the shipyard. So it's also fit to Indonesia as an archipelagic nation, so it's transportable. And of course, it's 40% plus more efficient than other traditional nuclear reactors. And for other things, based on the economic and industrial impact, Torcon create 1,000 jobs, and also for sure it will increase the GDP, and then fiscal contribution through the taxes and import substitutions. And this is the main thing, that we will have the technology transfer, capacity building, and enhancing the national human resources capacity in molten salt technology and nuclear engineering. Next, please. And for our vision, as we know that Torcon plan to build our first nuclear reactor in Kelasa Islands in Bangka. So since we built it in a barge, which we collaborated with South Korea, so we will build the reactor on top of the barge, and then we will do the non-fission test thermohydraulically. So once it passes and once it's safe, then we will take the barge and bring to Indonesia. So we will make sure and ensure everything in South Korea first. And then once it arrives in Indonesia, then we will operate the molten salt reactor in full power. Of course, it will be under the monitoring of Bapeten and also IAEA. And then we hope that we can get the license to be commercial by 2032. Next, please. So let us not wait until 2050. So let's make Indonesia the first Asian nation to go climate positive with nuclear together, but not someday, but now, because the energy is not just engineering, it is destiny. So let's shape it and instead of inheriting it. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Tanjung, for the presentation. It was very inspiring and interesting to see the development of molten salt reactor technology. Before we continue to our next panelist, I would like to ask one question. What do you think, or in this case, Torcon thinks about as the most critical steps for Indonesia or other possibly nuclear newcomer countries interested in MSR technology to bridge the gap between promising R&D of MSR and commercial deployment of the technology itself? What do you think is the critical necessary steps to achieve that?
I think it's the knowledge, because if it's just us who knows about the advantages, but our regulators and the governments have no idea about it, so we cannot move forward. So that's why Torcon, we applies the pentahelix models to unite the academia, industries, government, and also the civil society and media to accelerate Indonesia's clean energy transition. So I think it's the key for the nuclear industry.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Tanjung, for the presentation. A little bit of a reminder to everyone that we will have a discussion session. So I will ask the floor for questions like after the third presentation. So think, write, and try to engage in this important conversation on our nuclear energy future. So joining us next is Professor Andang Widiharto. He is a senior academic and innovator at Universitas Gadjah Mada, whose work bridges energy technology, engineering education, and patentable reactor design. With over 3 decades of experience in nuclear engineering and energy system, Dr. Andang has led numerous national-level projects from renewable-based electrification in remote areas to the conceptualization of modular microreactors and passive molten salt reactor design. His intellectual property portfolio includes granted and pending patents on reactor design, hybrid system, and waste treatment technology. Testament to his dedication to applied community-serving innovation. So please welcome Professor Andang Widiharto. The floor is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. I will deliver this presentation with the title of Nuclear Energy for Sustainable Negative Carbon Emission Industrial System. However, because this time is limited, I will present this course maybe without depend on these slides. So, yeah. Okay. As we know that CO2 emission is become the global problem human civilization in this time. And then we must create the concept what to mitigate or even to restore. Mitigate mean we limit the CO2 concentration in atmospheric by maybe eliminate the CO2 emission. We can also, if possible, we restore. Restore mean we reduce the CO2 concentration. Restoring CO2 concentration in atmospheric to the level maybe the level 20th century, middle 20th century, and so on. As we know that actually natural activity emit CO2 balance with absorb of CO2. But human civilization activity emit CO2 without balance by absorption. So there are imbalance of global CO2 balance in atmospheric. Some concept, I think it is important to develop a concept how to capture CO2. In the same time, we also limit CO2 emission. I think there is some concept to capture CO2. There is a concept of CO2 capture and storage or sequestration and so on. There are also several proposals for capturing CO2, such as capturing CO2 from direct emitter, and also capturing CO2 from atmospheric air. In this pitch, I make attention about capturing CO2 from atmospheric, because this concept can capture CO2 from anywhere source. The capturing concept actually simple. For example, we can react the atmospheric air with a dilute CO2 with capturing agent such as solution of natrium hydroxide and kalium oxide and so on. Also, we can regenerate this capturing agent. The problem is how we can do after we capture CO2. Several proposal concept is sequestration. So the captured CO2 is then stored in, for example, in deep geological rock that contain oxide rock to become carbonate. This is common. Another concept also marine or natural water body sequestration. This is injects the CO2 to natural water body and hope that the CO2 can boost bioorganic activity of the body, and the CO2 is stored in the form of biomass. However, the sequestration concept pose the main problem. This is the economic problem, because if we capture CO2 and then sequester and so on, usually we do not get economical benefits. So the mechanism of CO2 capture as sequestration may become economic burden, and this may become restriction to developing future industrial system. Thus, in this, we propose how to capture CO2 and then how to get benefits from capturing CO2. There is two concepts. Maybe still we can change this, but the change of this slide do not follow my, do not say my slide, okay? Yeah. There is some, I propose the two. The first is actually now we can widely use fertilizer, urea as fertilizer, but in current production Korea, I'm sorry, in urea, usually we use natural gas as raw material to produce urea fertilizer. Natural gas is reacted with water by methanic reaction and to produce methana and to produce synthetic gas, and then the syngas, hydrogen and syngas is reacted with CO2, also produced by this methanation reaction, and then produce urea. This is an opportunity to use the captured CO2 to produce urea. By reacted this captured CO2 with ammonia, and then ammonia can be provided by capturing nitrogen from air with hydrogen. This is the key, is how to produce hydrogen economically. The second concept, also we can use the captured CO2 to produce synthetic hydrocarbon. Thus, I mean synthetic hydrocarbon is hydrocarbon that cannot be produced from fossil fuel. Thus, hydrocarbon that originated from oil, gas, I call it natural hydrocarbon. But if we produce hydrocarbon compound, do not use fossil fuel, we call it synthetic hydrocarbon. The synthetic hydrocarbon also can be produced by make a reaction of captured CO2 with hydrogen. The result maybe first is methanol, and then we can dehydrate it to become dimethyl ether, and then second dehydration reaction to become ethylene, and then we can polymerize this. And then we can use the synthetic hydrocarbon compound as we use the hydrocarbon as in currently for plastic, or maybe for synthetic hydrogen fuel, and so on. But the key is how to make hydrogen, because without hydrogen, this concept of capturing CO2 cannot be followed to become economically viable products. Hydrogen in our concept must be produced with the methods or with the manner that can economically accepted. And we know that hydrogen must be produced from water. Currently, hydrogen produced from hydrocarbon, and then this is maybe not solution. We must produce it from water to eliminate CO2 emission. Hydrogen production from water needs energy, and need the highest energy compared to produce of hydrogen from every raw material, another raw material. And then we can to produce hydrogen in large industrial scale. We also need economically energy production, also large energy scale. And this is in my concept, this is the important role of nuclear energy. And then also for the next sustainable nuclear energy system, we must also develop that the nuclear energy should capable to use sustainably utilize nuclear fuel resources, and also should be able to avoid production of long-term radioactive waste. And this means that the nuclear energy must be developed to use closed fuel cycle, both of uranium closed cycle or thorium closed cycle. In my research, we developed, but in still our efforts, what is we call high temperature molten salt reactor. Thus, the molten salt reactor, I think have benefit because the molten salt reactor can be developed to become uranium closed cycle if we use fast spectrum, or thorium closed cycle if we use hard thermal spectrum. And then the benefit of the molten salt is use liquid fuel, mean we can simplify the fuel preparation and also simplify the fuel processing. We avoid, we can this reactor which on power or online fuel processing in this reactor site, in this reactor building, avoid transportation of spent fuel, transportation of radioactive material, and so on. This is I think this is the benefit of molten reactor. However, we also need to elevate the temperature of molten salt because in current proposed molten salt, the temperature is rather not so high because we must consider the interaction of salt with metal, this corrosion effect. In this concept, we can avoid direct contact. If we can avoid direct contact of salt with metal by lining the vessel with maybe silicon carbide and so on, I think we can elevate the temperature of the salt. Also, we can use new material, to replace metallic material for heat exchanger tubing and so on. Maybe also with composite carbon or with silicon carbide composite and so on. We can elevate the temperature of molten salt. Thus, by elevating temperature of this reactor, we can economically use this reactor to produce hydrogen by high temperature chemical cycle or by high temperature electrolyzer and so on. Thus, this is still in my research progress. This is the proposed concept of a high temperature molten salt reactor in combining with electric generation and hydrogen production. I think this is our presentation. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning.
All right, thank you, Professor Andang, for the presentation. Before we go to the floor, I would like to ask one question. It's very interesting to couple direct air capture or carbon sequestration with hydrogen production to add value to the output products. And my question is, what do you think in your research is the most suitable hydrogen production technology that can be coupled with the nuclear power, in this case MSR? What do you think is the most suitable hydrogen production technology? That's my question.
Yeah, I think this is the challenge. In this concept, I think the hydrogen technology is the big challenge in economic scale. But hydrogen production economic scale needs hydrogen production in high efficiency manner, and this is we need high temperature for hydrogen production. And another challenge is how to makes the energy system also in economic and sustainable, I think economic and sustainable manner to deliver high temperature. This is, I think, this key. If we success to develop this energy system, we can produce hydrogen, and we can also develop this industrial system in economic scale. Okay.
All right, thank you, Professor Andang. Big round of applause to all of our panelists. And now it's a discussion session. So I would like to ask to the floor if you have like any question to ask to like all three panelists or one individual panelist. You can raise your hand so the organizer can find you and you can speak to us now.
Okay. Check. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I am Panji Ruantaro from Universitas Gadjah Mada. I'm truly interested for this topic, especially when we talk about nuclear energy. We cannot talking about economical and social issues, especially in Indonesia. In Indonesia itself, we know that we facing some struggle in economical sectors because we have MBG. What is MBG? Makan bergizi gratis. I don't know how to spell it in English. Maybe free breakfast from student and etc. etc. And then the second problem is about the social issues called NIMBY. NIMBY is NIMBY, not in my backyard. Okay, we have some good ideas. We gonna make this nuclear power plant, but when we through and into the technological sector in technical issue, we facing some social, some maybe you can say no, don't make it in my backyard because it's called NIMBY, not in my backyard. It's dangerous. Maybe we cannot facing that all. So how can we overcome this economic and social issue regarding this topic, especially in my beloved country, Indonesia? Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, thank you, Mr. Panji. So to summarize the question, it's like economic consideration and social acceptance is two of the main biggest problem in Indonesia. The economic consideration is important because once again there's like some government programs that took up a lot of our economic capacity. So the question that I want to summarize from Mr. Panji, if I may, is that what do you think is the most important consideration in terms of economic and social acceptance to help nuclear newcomer countries? So maybe we can start with Professor Andang.
Nah, thank you. In terms of economic issue, the nuclear, the current technology of nuclear power plant still economically proven and economically because the LCOE of nuclear power plant in current technology in several reference can compete with fossil fuel. In nuclear power plant also still compete with the renewable energy source. And nuclear power plant compared to the renewable energy have benefit. The nuclear can deliver energy in continuous without fluctuating. I think this is the benefit of nuclear. Thus, this is nuclear and renewable in the future may become synergized to supply energy. And nuclear can supply the energy demand that needs continuous supply. This is, I think, an economic. And advanced reactor, one of the goal of advanced reactor development is also economic. The main goal of advanced reactor development is how to reduce the long-term radioactive waste, and then how to use the nuclear fuel resources in a sustainable manner, and then also how to make economic scale, accepted economic scale. How about social aspect, mostly in NIMBY. I think actually there are no technology without impact socially, economically, and so on. But the problem is how we can reduce this impact into acceptable risk level. One of the important problem of this nuclear technology and currently is maybe the safety concern, how to reduce nuclear accident and so on. So in this case, I think the next nuclear power generation will be improved by increasing the safety aspect, by using passive system. I think also molten salt reactor, including Torcon, have totally passive system. So the safety system is totally passive. With the passive, we can improve the safety of this nuclear power plant. And the second is long-term radioactive waste. This is maybe the problem. However, by developing advanced reactor, by using closed fuel cycle, the long-term radioactive waste will be avoided because we can reuse the waste to fuel. And also, in case of molten salt reactor, we can develop the fuel processing directly in the reactor building. So we can process the fuel directly. Thus, we can, if this concept is success, we can only feed the reactor with fertile material, with fertile fuel, not fissile. And then the reactor develop the fissile itself by using this breeding ability. And then also some actinide converted to fissile material and then perform fission reaction and then become the fission product that's only medium lifetime. Thus, the final waste is not long lifetime radioactive waste, but only medium lifetime that can be handled with current technology. Also, the number of the amount of the radioactive waste is far reduced. The current nuclear power plant produce 20 or 30 ton per gigawatt electric year, but the closed cycle reactor only produce 1 ton per gigawatt electric year in the form of fission, mostly fission product, not long-term actinide. Thus, we can reduce the amount of the fuel, and also we can reduce the lifetime and also radioactivity level. And then, in terms of molten salt reactor incorporated with on-power field processing, we can also localize this waste in this reactor location, in this NPP nuclear power plant reaction. So maybe this is become solution of NIMBY social. Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you, Professor Andang. So the key here is like to reduce the risk to an acceptable level of risk, and the waste reduction is important into try to reduce the NIMBY problem on that one. And for the second panelist, I would like to reframe the question a little bit. Since we talk about like social acceptance of nuclear power, my question is, what is currently the TORCON strategy and plan in doing like community engagement and other to solve those two problems that the participants has raised?
Yeah, thank you. For the economic and social impact, right? I think technically it's already answered from Professor Andang. So for TORCON, that's why we built our reactor in the shipyard, in the barge, because it's so much cheaper and faster construction. So, and regarding the economy, TORCON came with fully foreign investment. So Indonesia no need to worried about how we can gather this technology. The technology is here, and then we don't need to think. We just need to follow the regulation that regulators in Indonesia stated us to follow. And regarding the social impact, of course, even right now, there are so many communities that try to say that, oh, it's unsafe, it's, yeah, not in my backyard, something like that, right? But I think this is the chance for us to start. So why it happened? It's because we don't know the technology. We are not familiar with it. So this kind of event, I think it's one of the strategy to explore and to floor and to tell everyone about nuclear, that it's not really that dangerous. Nuclear is not a monster, something like that. It's just because if in Indonesia there is a saying, tak kenal maka tak sayang. Gitu kan ya. So we need to know. We need to know first, then we can tell what it is. So don't judge a book from its cover, right? So I think it's a chance for us to start. The technology is here, and then we are not just use Indonesia as experiment. It's not for experiment, because we make sure everything and we follow all the regulations here in Indonesia, and we also ask the regulators and also the government to understand, to fully understand the concept and the technology, that it's not really that scary. So for TORCON, we starting to do like seminars in some universities and also to public. We also make a popular book, so everyone can read and understand what is nuclear technology. So I hope it can be our step for the future energy in Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tanjung. And for Carolyn, I would like to ask about the maybe in-pro engagement in terms of solving this grand economics problem and social acceptance, probably in your experience.
Okay, thank you. I would like to just go back a little bit from that. Behind my head here, we have the Department of Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics is the one sponsoring this program. So everybody out here is for nuclear. That's our challenge. That is a challenge we have. Nuclear is safe. We have not been good about giving that message. It is the safest form of energy out there. But we have not communicated it well. So that is a challenge that we all need to accept and we need to promote and we need to educate, and that's part of the public acceptance. And then there was a mention about the food lunch program. Oh, yeah. And so what I would like to say, the ambassador this morning, she said, food and energy, they go hand in hand. So you want food for the lunch program, you need energy to produce that food. So I don't think it's one or the other. We need to be join as a community, and when we join as a community, then people see the benefits. So the thing about not in my backyard, the first thing is that communities that have nuclear power in their backyard, they're saying, yeah, bring me a second unit, because they have clean energy. They have good paying jobs. They have promoted their community and elevated it. The GDP has gone up. So that's another part that we can help educate, because communities that do have a nuclear power plant, therefore having another one, you know, it has less environmental impacts. And the other thing is what can IMPRO do? So as I stated in my talk earlier, that, you know, we help with public acceptance. We show that we have addressed all the areas the public is concerned about, and we need to communicate the message about how safe it is. We need to take that message out of this room and take it to the communities.
Thank you, Carolyn. That's a very powerful message. I would like to give it back to the floor. If there's any questions, please raise your hand so the organizer can come and find you. There's one at the back, and then Dr. Alexander at the front.
Okay, thank you. Greetings. My name is Hamzah. I come from National Research and Innovation Agency, or BRIN. So actually I come from Research Center for Hydrodynamics Technology. So maybe my, this great topics, and actually I'm interested in torque on power. So I heard that about the, that you will build the power plant in the shipyard first. So the parts will be in South Korea and then transported to Indonesia, right? Or, okay. Maybe a simple question for me, and so curious. So my background is in, let's say, causal processes, and transporting parts from across the oceans and continents is quite a challenge. And how do you address that? That in transportations it will be safe. So actually, how do you address the, because actually when you transport the barge, maybe waste will tilt a bit, and how is it safe in all conditions of seas? And I don't know, maybe I don't get the idea first. Is it will be operable in floating condition, or the barge will be docked in some area of the island in Belitung, and then start to operate, or is it in the Belitung and then it's just stay float in with distance to the islands? So actually, simple questions for me. Actually, maybe how do you address that sea state conditions in the birds? So thank you.
Okay, thank you. And for Dr. Alexander Agung, the question.
Okay, thank you very much. My question is addressed also to Dr. Elvira. As we already know that in RUPTL, there is a target that nuclear power plant should be built and operation in 2032. And I would like to ask, what is the recent progress of TORCON in trying to develop the technology, and also in terms of licensing to Babaten to fulfill the goal in 2032, and also what kind of obstacles that you may face to fill the aims. Thank you very much. Sorry? To fill the aims operation in 2032.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hamza and Dr. Alexander, for the question. So we have a lot of interest about floating technology here. So first, I would like to go to Dr. Tanjung about the first question. So basically, what is the principle of concept of the floating power plant, and then what is the strategy for the transportation, and maybe the regulatory hurdles about that?
All right. So regarding how to transport without waste that might go everywhere, something like that, right? Because first, when we do the non-fission test in South Korea, and then after that, we will clean again the reactor and everything. So the one that is transported to Indonesia, it's an empty reactor, which is already cleaned. So it's empty, and then when it's arrived in Kalasa, let's say we are building it in Kalasa Islands. So we also plan to build the salt center in Bangka. So in there, in the salt center, we will process the fuel and the salt for the coolant. So the one that it will be transport is the one in from the salt center to the Kalasa for the fuel. And then regarding that one, we of course we will follow the regulation by the IAEA regarding the safeguards of the fuel. So and also regarding the barge, it's not floating because we have the technology. I think it's also research in Korea. It's GBS. It's gravity-based structure. So we will fill with the water, so it will sink. It's about 10 meters, so it's stable enough to be docked near in the Kalasa Islands. Is it enough?
So I guess that's, yeah, actually answer my curiosity, actually. Thank you. And also I want to share a bit. So actually this is a breakthrough with up to 250 megawatt, right? And then it stays operable. I would say the 10 meters depth is near shore for us, we call it. So it's close to the island, right? So maybe I'll share with you, we have some projects in with PLN, let's say, the power plant, and I heard that Ratu coal-fired power plant will be shut down in upcoming years, and then also we have Pacitan. Transporting coal to that power plant is quite costly, and sometimes we cannot rely on that because when the high waves comes, coal will be delayed. So if this is operable in the near shores, and also maybe a bit next questions, can we operate it in the situations like in the southern coast of Java with the high waves? Is it safe also to be operated in the high wave conditions, let's say, with that let's say anchored structures in the near shores?
You mean to deliver the fuel?
I mean the whole power plant that plug.
Oh no. It's risky.
Risky.
Yes.
So still in the safe, in the closed ocean, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So that's the question and already answered basically. And how about the second question about the recent technological progress and regulatory requirements completion?
Okay. For current status of the research, we have collaborated with several institutions and universities like ITB for the molten salt, and then with the Virginia Tech for the uranium conversion, and also for the purifying the salt. And with Milano, it's for the how can I say, modeling, numerical analysis. So everything is on place, everything is on track, and then we prove, especially for the fuel, because that's my area actually. So I've tried, and then I also did the experiment in VT and also in Indonesia. We got the good result, and for the Milan, how can I say, the simulation also going well. That's why since 2 years ago, we already have the 3S consultation with Bapeten. Safety, security, and safeguard. So we already started that one until we got the not license, but to do the site visit, to do the visit, to do the site. How can I say?
Site evaluation.
Site evaluation, yeah, in CLASA. So we are still going on the 3S consultation, and then by next year it will move to the design, because we only can open our design to Bapeten. So that's the current status.
All right, thank you. Maybe Caroline has something to add for this.
So IMPRO looks at innovative systems, and we actually began looking at floating nuclear power plants. Well, actually transportable. Floating is one of them, starting in 2013. So our first publication that we had on transportable nuclear power plants, including floating, said there were not issues with transporting them, even on a barge, if they are not fueled. And Ms. Elvira this morning explained that they are going to take the fuel out and clean it. So that will not be a fueled system. We are working on our second project in transportable nuclear power plants right now, and that's looking at factory fueled and then shipped. And I will say to you that that is a excessive challenge. But that's what IMPRO does. We look at where challenges are and what we can do, the innovations we need to put in place, and we look at them early, and so that they can be in place when they're ready to be deployed. But I think you have a very good plan, so I wish you a lot of success.
All right, thank you. Let's give one round of questions again. I'll give it to the floor. So if you have, like, there's one over there, so the organizer. Two, okay, yep.
Okay, thank you. My name is Eko Bagus Solihin. I'm PhD student from Department of Political Science in Universitas Gajah Mada. So my point of view is social. I have two questions to Dr. Elvira and also to Caroline. For Mbak Elvira, actually Torcon looks to be the most serious company in developing nuclear in Indonesia, including compared to other major companies in the world. I understand that building nuclear in newcomer country like Indonesia is a very high risk business because there are political, regulatory, and also social uncertainties. But I seen that the government provide considerable support for Torcon during the last 5 years, especially through Dewan Energi, for example, Energy Council, Bapeten, and also DPR RI. However, in 2025, I heard that President Prabowo, there's also Hashim Jojo Hadikusumo, President Envoy for Climate and Energy, and also the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources have repeatedly stated that Indonesia will develop a nuclear power plant and mention several companies in the world who interest to develop nuclear in Indonesia. But I don't know why they never mention Torcon. And so my question is, how actually the government support for Torcon currently? Is there any problem support from the government for the Torcon project? Yeah, and then my question to Caroline, in a social point of view, the problem of nuclear technology, the problem of nuclear in Indonesia, not just only technology, but also the government itself. I mean, in developing country like Indonesia, the risk from nuclear power is not only the technology but the government itself, yeah, because with widespread corruption, yeah, including in extractive and energy sectors, where local community often become a victim of the government project, and the public concern that if there is a corruption in nuclear power plants operational, the risk will be multiplied. And my question is, how do you think about Indonesian government institutional capacity and commitment to safely operating nuclear power plants? Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's take the second question. I see one on the right side of the floor.
Good morning. My name is Fuad Chariri, and I am coming from PLN. This question is for all the speakers. My question is, do you think Indonesia ready to start its first nuclear program in academic perspective, manufacture, and IAEA itself? Because I'm not sure which pace that we are stepping right now.
All right, thank you. So the question is addressed to all the panelists, and there's one specific to Dr. Tanjung and one to Caroline. So maybe Caroline, you can start about the institutional capacity and the potential. What do you think the way forward in preparing for nuclear newcomer countries, the important steps?
Okay, I was going to answer the one question here. You know, you mentioned something about the government being corrupt and then people worrying about the power plant being corrupt. And I mean, that's something you have to address internally. I come from the International Atomic Energy Agency and I can't fix that. But you know, trust is always a big issue. And you know, you can lose it quickly and it's hard to gain it back. So that's one of the places I think where you can, you know, make sure you have your community engagement so that they feel like they're being heard and that they can help be the solution, that you can help build that trust. So that was one of the questions. And then there was, what was the second?
The second one is about what do you think is the important steps for nuclear newcomer countries?
Okay, and there was another question, did I think Indonesia was ready? Yeah, so I would like to address that one. I have been working with Indonesia since I began at the IAEA. I was here last year. I was requested to come out as an advisory service to help with planning for the nuclear energy needs. I think we were going to 2050, and I was very, very impressed with the people I was working with, the challenges that they brought to me. My first morning at the meeting, they said, we are going from 4 gigawatts to 45. I was like, oh my God. But you know what? They came through, and you have your research reactor, you have a lot of experience. So I think you are ready. I think, you know, you have what's in place. You have your nuclear engineering programs in your universities. You reach out to the broader communities that have experience. So yes, I do believe you are ready.
Thank you, Carolyn. And maybe Professor Andang wants to add about the readiness of Indonesia.
Yeah, thank you. How the readiness of Indonesia to operate the nuclear power plant? Yeah, I think Indonesia have enough. Indonesia have enough. I think readiness, and readiness aspect. I think we have experience in operating nuclear reactor in terms of research reactor. We have also regulatory body that available country. We have also education academic institution to develop nuclear manpower for nuclear energy, and we also have research institution. We also have several industry that can be prepared to support nuclear energy. Maybe we have industrial experience to produce nuclear grids component, but I think we can increase the and we can confess the capability of industry to support nuclear component. Indonesia have several success story to develop new technology in industrial scale. We have, for example, we have PT KAI, not KAI. What's INCA? INCA. The INCA, PT INCA, that's produce train and equipment. The PT INCA now exports train production for several countries. We have also PT PAL that's produce ships, and also industrial aircraft industry that also can produce, can export several aircraft. This is a success story, and then we can convert the existing industry to level that can support nuclear grid industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Andang. And now we move to Dr. Tanjung about the question about the current government support, and the next question about the readiness. Are we ready?
All right. Regarding the government support, there is no issue about it. It's just our president didn't know about us yet. But that's what we are doing right now. So we actually plan to make the Torcon 500 is one of the PSN, the national project. So that's our target if we can get into it. So there's no issue regarding the support from the government. And regarding the readiness, yes, of course, we are ready. We should think positive, right? We should think big and think positive. You are what you are think. So in my case, I always say that, yeah, we are ready. We should be ready because we have no choice. And as Prof. Andang said, and also Caroline said that Indonesia also has the capability in the university as well. And then last week I joined the conference in Brin that there are several universities also are planning to open the nuclear engineering department. So and also regarding the fuel salt or salt center, something like that, we already started. So we have the capability also how to handle the salt, how to purify the salt. And then also, like Prof. Andang said regarding the PT PAL, we also collaborate with PT PAL to get the knowledge transfer regarding the barge that we are using, and then regarding the reactor that we are collaborating with South Korea. So there will be the transfer knowledge in it. So Indonesia, it's so ready even now. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very positive message we have here. And one last question from me to all of the panelists here. We all talk about the food, water, energy nexus, the previous keynote speech, and we also talk about the hydrogen production and other capabilities of nuclear energy system. So for the last question from me, I want to ask about what do you think is the importance of the beyond electricity sector application of nuclear technology, especially in Indonesia's case or other countries' case? And the second part of the question is, do you think it is important to close the fuel cycle? Thank you. So Caroline, you can go maybe first.
Okay, so the first one was
beyond electricity.
Beyond electricity. So that's a great one. We're actually having our dialogue forum in 2026 will be in August in Thailand, and that is the theme of that dialogue forum. And like I said, in IMPRO we look at innovative things, and that's what we are addressing, beyond electricity. There are lots of things that need to be addressed. You can use nuclear for producing hydrogen, that was talked about this morning. It's also good for desalination. That's important to all communities, and it can be used, I mean, it's readily available. So electricity is the most prominent one, but industrial heating, not industrial heating, but industrial steam. So having this type of energy available for your industry is very important, and that will help your GDP in the future. So that is very important. In IMPRO, we look at environmental impacts, the depletion of resources, and one of the big things that we are looking at is recycling fuel. There, in what we call used fuel, after it's been through the reactor, there's approximately 80% of the energy left in the fuel. So we need to recycle this in order to bring this energy out and use it, reuse it, you know, recycle the spent fuel. This is very important. And it also helps with the other part that I talked about, the waste management, that we do not need as big repositories for storing the waste. So I think this is a very important concept to follow. The IMPRO section is here in Indonesia this week. I am happy to support the ASTECHNOVA 2025 conference, but we are having our technical meeting for Step Forward, which is actually looking at recycling fuel, one time, multiple times, and the scenarios that need to be developed and the analysis that needs to be done in order to understand how to implement this. So once again, IMPRO very forward-looking, and we are looking at addressing this challenge.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Carolyn, for the remarks, and maybe Professor Andang can help with the second part.
Okay, in my opinion, the application of nuclear energy system beyond electricity is important because important in terms of how to develop a future energy system that do not emit CO2 or even by negative emitter, mean absorb CO2. Because as I present before, the hydrogen production become the key component to make the captured CO2 become available to convert to economically benefits product. Also, in terms of industrial system currently, mainly for metal industry, we use carbon as a reductor agent. And then this is also the high source of CO2 emission. We can replace the carbon with other reductor agent, and hydrogen simply become a potential reductor agent for metal industry. But also the key is how to produce hydrogen in economically scalable in massive amount and cheap amount so the economically scalable in energy system that can be used to produce hydrogen become key. I think also desalination system also become important in the next because the increasing of water demand but reducing of fresh water source. So we need massive desalination, and also we need massive energy to provide energy for desalination system to avoid the using of fossil energy. And then also nuclear become potential for this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Andang. And for Dr. Tanjung, please.
As we know that nuclear power is not just an energy source, it is also the strategic tool for a country's long-term progresses. So, because we can use it also for the industrial growth, the energy security, economic impact, environmental benefits, and also the human capital. So when we say that the nuclear power goes beyond electricity, we mean that the true value lies in how it transforms a nation economically, technologically, and sustainably. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very positive and very empowering closing remarks. And I advise all the panelists to stay here because we will have like some plaque giving ceremony. And to close this session, I would like to emphasize on the importance and the potential role of nuclear power in limiting our climate change into 2 degrees C or possibly 1.5 degrees C if possible, to be able to give a social and generational responsibility to our future generation. Nuclear power is here to contribute, and it's not to be competed with renewables, but we're all here in this conference to get along, to shares success stories and to make sure that we have the best path to achieve net zero in 2060 in Indonesia. So once again, thank you for all the panelists, and I would like to give the session back to the organizer. But before that, please one last round of applause to all the wonderful panelists. Thank you.
And once again, please give a big round of applause to our moderator, Mr. Andika Yuda Prawira. Thank you so very much, Mr. Andika, and all speakers. We kindly ask you to stand in front of the table as we will have a token of appreciation that will be presented to all speakers and moderator by Dr. Alexander Agung.
We kindly invite Dr. Alexander Agung, Head of Department of Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics, Universitas Gadjah Mada, to come forward and present the tokens for Ms. Caroline Scherer, Dr. Elvira Tanjung, and Professor Andang Widiharto.
First token to Ms. Caroline Scherer, International Atomic Energy Agency from IAEA. Please give a big round of applause to Ms. Caroline as the first speaker. And the next one to Mrs. Elvira F. Tanjung from PT Torkon Power Indonesia. And next to Professor Dr. Insinyur Andang Widiharto from Universitas Gadjah Mada. And after the token session, we would like to invite all speakers and Dr. Alexander Agung to have some picture and photo with the speakers and moderator. Mr. Andika, please back again on stage. And that concludes our first panel session today. Okay, thank you so very much. Please facing the camera and smile. 1, 2, 3, capture. And clenching your right hand like this. Yeah, together, gives your spirit. Thank you. 3, 2, 1, capture. Thank you so very much, all speakers, moderator, and also thank you so very much for Dr. Alexander Agung. Thank you, Dr. Alexander Agung, Head of Department Nuclear Engineering and Engineering Physics of Universitas Gadjah Mada. So, ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible plenary session what have just had, but excitement doesn't stop here. Coming up next, we have an important part of our agenda, the oral presentation or a parallel session that will explore various themes and research topics. And we will resume about 1 hour and 30 minutes after break. So please take the time to refresh yourself. Please enjoy lunch outside and just enjoy, or you may visit the poster exhibition and the exhibition outside, inside and outside of this hall. And we also inform you about the parallel session will take place into 2 parts. The part 1 immediately after lunch at 1 p.m. and the part 2 will continue after evening coffee break. And we also inform you about the parallel session which will be held in the following rooms: Yudhistira, Bima, Arjuna, and Gatot Kaca. In the meantime, we also invite you to visit also the poster and exhibition area. And we inform you about the SPPD for those participants who require to SPPD assignment to signature or assignment. You are kindly requested to submit your SPPD document to our committee at registration desk.
Once again, we want to inform you that after the lunch break, we will continue our agenda with the parallel sessions that will be held in the following rooms: Yudhistira, Bima, Arjuna, and Gatot Kaca. And we also please invite you to visit and enjoy the exhibition area in front of this room. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Once again, we inform you, ladies and gentlemen, please follow the parallel session at 1 p.m. And thank you for your attendance here and have a nice break lunch. Thank you.
Mbak, aku duluan ya Mbak. Aku harus lanjut. Thank you.